Chapter 19. Now or Never. So, Farah says, twirling her wand between her fingers like it's a cheerleading baton. How'd you do? She did great, I say, but then wonder if I should let Cinderella do the talking. A person who stands on her own 2 feet should definitely use her own tongue, right? I'll let her tell you about it. Farah nods. Good idea. Cinderella takes a step forward. We decided I would get a job so I could afford an apartment of my own. And we found a great place that's $100 a month. You said that if I could prove to you that I can rescue myself, you could fix my foot. And if you fix my foot, then I'll fit the glass slipper like Abby said I was supposed to. So I started a crowning company called Cinderella's Crownies to raise $100 for the apartment. What's a crownie? Farah asks. Jonah rolls his eyes. It's really called a brownie. My sister's just weird. Crownies are little square cakes, Cinderella explains. I baked a bunch, and then we sold them at the market. I really enjoyed making them and selling them, and we made $120, which is enough to rent an apartment, I shriek. I'm sorry, I'm just not good at containing myself, which proves she could stand on her own 2 feet. She's self-reliant. She is. Exactly, Cinderella says. Farah nods. I'm impressed. You can afford to rent your own apartment? That does prove to me that you're not just a damsel in distress. Maybe you're a worthy partner for the prince after all. Yay! I cheer. And Farah, not that I'm not focusing on Cinderella and her issues right now, but we really need to talk about finding a magic mirror. She smiles. Let's take care of Cinderella first, okay? She lifts her wand. She makes 3 circles in the air and then sends a zap toward the table. The glass slipper that had been smashed reappears in a puff of sparkle. Oh, yay! She fixed it! And now for your foot, she says. Yes. Everything is going to be back on track now. Hooray! The door bursts open. Not so fast. Stop whatever you're doing. Betty, what is she doing here? Beatrice is behind her. Beatrice and Kayla. See Kayla? Beatrice says, pointing to the glass slipper on the table. I told you she was the mystery girl from the ball. She stole your prince. How did you know? Cinderella asked. It wasn't that hard to figure out, Beatrice says. Also, I'm a very good eavesdropper. You guys aren't exactly quiet. Kayla's eyes tear up. I don't understand. I thought you were trying to raise $100 so you can move out. Technically, she was raising $100 to prove to me that she's worthy of the prince, Farah says. You lied to me, Kayla says, her mouth turning down. You stole my prince. I'm sorry, Kayla, Cinderella says, but he was never your prince. If he was your prince, he wouldn't have spent both nights dancing with me. But he liked me. I know he liked me. Kayla's voice trails off. She juts her quivering chin at Cinderella. I can't believe I helped you, Prince Robber. Betty smiles a seriously evil smile. Don't get all worked up, Kayla. Cinderella isn't marrying the prince. She couldn't raise the $100. Yes, she could. It's right here. I pull out the envelope with the money. See? There's enough in here for the apartment plus $20 extra. Let's see about this, shall we? Betty walks over to me. Tell me something. Who paid for the ingredients that Cinderella used to bake the crownies? We bought the ingredients for the second batch at the market, Jonas says. Betty raises an eyebrow. What about the first batch? We found the ingredients in the house, I say, my voice shaking. So that means you used my ingredients for your crownies without asking my permission, which in my book is stealing. I don't know what kind of laws you have in Smithville, but here in Flume, stealing is a crime. She laughs. Forget the attic. You should see what a jail cell feels like. Take $20, Cinderella says quickly. Then we'll be even. Will we now? Betty says. $20 hardly seems enough for all the ingredients you stole. And what about the paper you used to make the signs? And the ironing board you used as a table? I'd say you owe me, including penalties and interest. She pretends to be hard at thought. How much did you say you made? $120? I'd say you owe me $130. Her mouth twists into an evil smile. Oh, you don't have that much. Too bad. I guess this means that you and your little Smithvillian friends are going to jail. Mom, no! Beatrice yells. Can it be? Did I have it all wrong? Is Beatrice the nice one and Kayla the bad one? If they all go to jail, Beatrice wants, who's going to do the cooking and the laundry? Betty smiles. Think, Beatrice. Whichever one of you marries the prince will move me and your sister into the palace with you, yes? Beatrice nods. Surely. Then we'll each have our own maid to tend to us. Who needs Cinderella? My heart pounds. I turn to Farah. Can't you stop her? She's being ridiculous. Farah shakes her head. She's the lady of the house. Cinderella should have asked her permission before taking her things. There's nothing I can do. Your choice, Betty says with a grin. $130 or jail? I look at Kayla, my eyes pleading. I know you're bad, but can't you convince them to go easy on us? Remember how crummy you felt for treating Cinderella badly for so long? Haven't you changed at all? Kayla's lips quiver, but then she takes a deep breath. Mom, she says finally, you're being unfair. Cinderella didn't know she was stealing. She lives here, you know. She just assumed it was her stuff, too. Well, it wasn't, and now she has to pay, Betty spits out. I send Kayla another pleading glance. I know you think Cinderella marrying the prince is unfair, I say, but the way you treated her since she was 12 is even more unfair. You owe it to her to help. You know you do. Kayla's face falls. I know. Mom, I'll give you the $130, okay? Just don't send Cinderella to jail. She's suffered enough. Excuse me, Farah pipes up, but that breaks the rules. Cinderella and I exchange a look. What rules? She asks. Farah frowns. The rules about being self-sufficient. If Kayla just gives her mom the money, she'd be rescuing Cinderella. Haven't you been listening? Cinderella has to prove she's self-reliant. That's the whole point. See? Betty says. Even the skinny fairy woman agrees. I think it's time I called the police. Wait, you have a phone? Can I go home? Phone! Cronies! Are you guys just making up words to confuse me? Beatrice asks. I guess that's a no. Wait, did she say crownie? Oh! Farah, I say slowly. If Cinderella earns the money to pay back Betty, that would prove she's self-reliant. How can I earn the money? Cinderella says. I have no ingredients to make more crownies, and no money to buy them. And even if I did, we're almost out of time. The princess assistant is going to be here any minute. I reach into my bag and pull out the one remaining crownie. You still have one crownie left to sell. Kayla, please, would you be interested in buying this crownie for $130? I turn to Kayla and hold my breath. Who's she going to side with? She would not, Betty snaps. Kayla's cheeks redden. Actually, Mom, I would. Really? Jenna asked. You know it has walnuts, right? I can't believe you to betray your own mother, Betty snarls at Kayla. I'm sorry, Mom. I don't want to betray you. I want to make up the last few years to Cinderella. Farah looks at her watch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You made it! I'm very impressed. Think again, fairy freak, Betty says. Do you see money is in my hand? You do not. Cinderella goes to jail. Actually, I say, speaking as her lawyer, the negotiations were completed before the deadline, so I would say she's in the clear. Right, Farah? In response, Farah raises her wand, points it at Cinderella's foot, and zaps it. There's a puff of sparkle, and before our very eyes, Cinderella's foot shrinks back to its normal pre-marshmallow size. I'm healed, Cinderella says, wriggling her toes. Thank you, Farah. As for you two, Cinderella says to me and Jonah, it's time to tell you how to get home. Really? I ask. Really, she says, twirling the wand between her fingers. The portal is actually... She's interrupted by a loud knock at the front door. Jonah rushes to the window. There's a carriage outside. It must be the princess' assistant. Get her, I hear. The next thing I know, Beatrice jumps in onto Farah's back. The wand flies out of Farah's hand, and Beatrice and Farah tumble to the ground. The wand goes rolling across the floor. Betty scoops it up. Now, where were we?